Good morning, everybody. So you tuned again to Cragcore. So this morning we're going to be talking about something that's extremely serious. We're going to be looking at the 9/11 stuff, because I feel as though there's a lot of people that may not have seen what I saw yesterday. There is a video, a set of 3 as a matter of fact, on YouTube, and you're already watching YouTube if you're watching this. So as soon as this video is finished, or even right now, because more importantly, this video is exceptional and everybody should go and watch it. It's by a group called the AIA, and it's regarding the architects that have come together. There's a large group of architects that have come together. I can't remember how many there is. I think there's over 100 at least. That have all come together and basically analysed the structural integrity of the World Trade Center, or at least what was the World Trade Center. Also Building 7. In fact, that's what the first part of this trilogy focuses on, is the World Trade Center 7. I mean, I never knew there was as much evidence as what there is to prove that this thing was an inside job. Now, obviously, there has been rumours since the outset that it was the Bushes that did it. And those that are in power basically conjured up a plan for insurance money and stuff. That was what I heard. And you tend to think, well, yeah, based on what it is I've seen over the years with regards to, as the years go on, perhaps people wouldn't have believed it back then because everybody was still under the spell, wasn't they? But now, more and more people are starting to wake up from the spell which is cast upon the people by these groups of oligarchs. And they're starting to say, well, yeah, actually, I could believe it of these people. But the trouble is, they're no longer in power, and they're kind of out in the fucking wind somewhere, aren't they? Living their lives, forgotten about, and the focus is on the person who's in power now. Such is the fucking game, Such is just another layer of the illusion. Oh, and I don't worry about Bush anymore because Biden's in power and he's also making a mess of it. Don't worry about fucking John Major because fucking what's his face is in power now. Or Maggie Thatcher, because you've got Twatty Johnson in now and he's making a fucking mess of it. So we can't worry about them because we need to worry about these right now. So, people are starting to wake up regardless, which is a good thing. It's never too late. Sometimes people think, oh, it's too little too late, but it's never too fucking late, ever. So anyway, better late than never, that's what I say. But these guys, these architects, have put together some absolutely groundbreaking, riveting and astonishing evidence. And I tell you, I can't remember what the name of the fucking documentary's called. I think it's called 9/11 An Architect's Guide Part 1. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. If you go and watch that video, please watch it till the end and watch all 3 parts. I've only watched the first part so far, and my mind is blown. Like I've said, I didn't realise there was so much evidence. Now I'm just going to quickly bullet point a couple of pieces of evidence that I feel prove without any fucking doubt whatsoever that this was an inside job. And anybody else needing any more evidence than this, then fair enough. But anybody really, any layman only really needs 2 pieces of information, in my opinion, because it cracks the whole thing wide open. First of all, you've got the BBC were reporting that World Trade Center Building 7 had fallen, had collapsed due to debris from the World Trade Center coming down earlier that day, due to damage sustained from that previous collapse, when it was still standing. I mean, I don't know, there's lots of people that have seen this footage. I don't really know if you understand the relevance of it, because basically it proves that number one, they knew it was going to come down previously to it actually happening, and number two, it goes to show that the media is not a valid place to get your information from. And it's as simple as that, because they're lying to you, because they knew it wasn't, they must have known. And even if they didn't know, it proves incompetence. So they're not the place you want to be getting your information from. But the very fact that somebody must have fed them that information to actually report on it shows foresight of this building being demolished. So point number one, they knew about it before it happened and reported on it, while it's still on the video behind the woman when she's saying World Trade Center 7, Building 7 fell earlier today, and it's there. It actually fell 23 minutes after that report was made. Now, the second one is a little bit more detailed. This is the one that blew my mind. Because when you realise this, you understand that it could not have been a few people sat in a fucking cave somewhere, which is the given narrative. You know, some cave dwellers from Afghanistan that came over and held up some planes with some box cutters. In England, they call them Stanley knives. And basically then piloted these extremely difficult to pilot planes through a jungle of steel and buildings, and precisely placed them at the key points in a building that would have required, to be damaged in order to have them collapse the way they did. I mean, that's fucking insane to believe the given narrative. Now, it proves that the powers that desire to be these oligarchs did it, because it would have taken months, if not years, to plan, which is disgusting, because it means they were planning, these people who died as a result of this, their card was marked well and truly a long time before all of this happened. Their death warrant had already been signed. Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. Why is there evidence? What is the shocking evidence? Well, I'm going to tell you. Weaponized thermate. Now, thermite is a substance that cuts through steel and iron and stuff. It's what the military use to cut through, big chunks of metal and what have you, and construction companies use it to cut through things. Now, this is, I believe it's iron oxide and aluminium. That's the compound. That's thermite. If you then add sulfur to the mix, it creates thermate. Now, sulfur naturally, apparently, I don't know this person, but it says it on this thing, it naturally weakens steel. So, ultimately, by adding it to the thermite, which is already capable of cutting through the steel, it weakens it to a degree where I suppose what it's doing is magnifying the cutting power of the thermite. Then you say, well, how is thermite that's, in a building, thermate in a building, going to be able to bring down the towers? Well, they looked at it under an electron microscope. I believe that's what they use. One of those things that can zoom in a million times. And they found that on a molecular level, this thermate had been bonded with dynamite. Now, that is something that needs to be done in a highly secure, very well funded laboratory. This is military technology. This is technology that has to be researched and developed in such a way. It's new tech. So they've created paint-on bombs. Looks like paint, but it's in fact a bomb. And one of the most deadly. Because the substance not only fucking explodes now, it weakens and cuts through steel. And they found flecks of this stuff in the rubble. There was also these other things that they found, but I'm going to leave you to watch the video and find these things out for yourself, because let me tell you, your mind will be well and truly fucking blown. Now, anybody after watching this video that still believes the given narrative, fucking hell, I don't know how anybody could do that. I just don't know. I mean, I already believed it was an inside job, but I didn't realise the extent as to how it truly is an inside job. If these people aren't brought to justice, if these psychopaths aren't brought to justice, well, I'm afraid that's on us. Because it's up to us to make enough of a fucking stink about this to force somebody somewhere, a judge, to take a secondary investigative look into this and accept the evidence that these architects are given as a way to convict these psychopathic individuals. Because I'm going to end on this. If once you can accept that this was a planned event, that means they planned it for a purpose. There's a reason. You don't plan something without there being a reason for that plan. So, and I said this last night, you'd be willing to spend a tenner if you could earn £100 from it. You'd be willing to spend £100 if you were going to earn £1,000 from it, and so on. So my point is, anything that we tend to invest in, with whatever it is we invest, time, effort, money, we usually want to see a larger return from it. So if these people have invested, and it sounds sick and disgusting to say that that's what it is, but ultimately these people are psychopaths. And you've got to get yourself out of your own mindset and to accept that these people aren't like you. And try and think like them. Try and accept that the psychopath thinks differently. And in their mind, they are investing the deaths of thousands of people, the destruction of a building whilst people are still alive in there. These people have gone about their daily lives over years and years of planning to perform this event in front of everybody, to make sure that everybody sees it. It was on fucking every single channel on the television. You turned it over, it was on. You turned it over, it was on. It was a global event, which probably means, in my opinion, that what they want from it, the return that they want from their investment, is also likely global. And to mention the return usually being more than the investment, well, if that's what they invested in the first place, what do you think their return, their projected return is? I mean, you've got to look at what's happened since 9/11. You've got to look at the way that the world has changed since then. What's going on right now globally, and you have to then expect that things will likely get a lot darker, because these people aren't going to stop unless we put a stop to it. Realise your own power and stand up against the tyranny. But first of all, you have to educate yourself, and by educating yourself, it can simply be listening to those people that have already done their due diligence. As long as you're seeking out the right information and you're listening to the right people and you're running it through your bullshit filter, you know, and you're sifting through it, and you're not just believing people on face value, go and do your own research on what these people are saying, you will then become a critical individual. And once you've educated yourself, you're in a prime position then to tell other people about it and to try and help the world wake up from this fucking dream that these people, these psychopaths, are here to help. Because what all they're doing is playing a game, man. And directing us, the people, in whatever way that they see fit in order for them to continue playing their games. And that's not okay, man. So, that's it. This is Crackcore. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to wish love and peace to all things everywhere. And remember, 9/11, An Architect's Guide, Part 1. Go and watch it now. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you to all the subscribers. Please like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And share the video far and wide. A lot of people need to know about this. Thank you very much. Once again, this is Crackcore signing off. Love and peace to all things everywhere.